Greetings, friends. Bjorn Andreas Bull-Hansen is a Norwegian author and YouTuber who focuses on masculinity, traditional ways of living, and the outdoors, where he films a lot of his videos. I'm going to respond to his video here titled, "Why Don't You Set Yourself Free?" I haven't seen this video. This is the first time.
So basically we are given a raw deal, and these people sitting there in their boardrooms, I guess, making decisions, they're so arrogant and so full of themselves that they can't imagine that we have another option, that we have alternatives, that we don't have to play their game, that we can actually choose to disconnect and detach from the matrix, get back to nature, and live our lives in freedom.
I don't think we can fully disconnect, detach, get back to nature, whatever that means, and live a life of freedom, whatever that means. I don't think we can fully do that. We can maybe disagree over how much we can move in that direction, but this is a problematic, simplistic worldview.
Hi there, and welcome to my local woods. It's a beautiful morning. I'm just sitting here listening to the wind in the trees. It is a beautiful sound.
Yeah, well, right away, I mean, where he is, you can't grow anything. Where Bjorn spends a lot of his time reflecting and exploring, and that's great to have that, to be able to go out into the woods there. You can see it's rocky, it's coniferous trees there. This is not a great place for agriculture. How are you going to have your civilization? No, it's going to be you escaping civilization. It's not building a civilization.
And we're going to talk about something that, well, it's been on my mind for quite some time, and I know that lots of you guys have probably been thinking the same. So, yeah, let me ask you, have you considered checking out? Now, people are asking themselves, what's this guy talking about? Well, have you considered checking out of this so-called modern society? Have you asked yourself the question, what's in it for me? I did.
I mean, that phrase is used in different ways. I know what he means, like trying to get out of the system. But would he agree with trying to check out of the dating market and just check out from ever wanting to marry a woman? Now, I'm not trying to get into that topic here, but I don't think Bjorn would agree with that. So he's using the checking out thing here. Well, we'll have to see if he clarifies. He will. He's an author, so he sells his books around the world. I'm not sure exactly how he can say that he's checking out of society.
What's in it for me? And the answer that the answer I came up with was not much. I checked out of this modern society a long time ago. My heart is not in the so-called modern society. It's a place I go to upload videos and to pay bills. This is not about me, this is something that a lot of people are talking about now, and I get the sense that maybe especially men are asking themselves this very important question. Why should I stay? Why would I accept being here on these terms?
Well, one reason would be to stay if you're part of a good community, and to remain part of that community, and to stay in the place that you know, where you have friends and family, and that you can make a meaningful difference in their lives. That would be one answer off the top of my head. Why would I accept being in a difficult situation on terms that I didn't determine myself. Well, maybe that's an opportunity to grow. Maybe that's an opportunity to face challenges and overcome them, at least in terms of our own lives and how we deal with them.
You're not going to own stuff. You're not going to be able to build up wealth for your family and your kids.
You're not going to be able to own stuff. You're not going to be able to build up wealth for your family and for your kids. I like that he's mentioning the family and the kids, because that gets beyond the self, that gets into something greater than ourselves. But this is materialistic. This is worldly. He's saying you have to have freedom to advance materially. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but that's his grounding here. And that's flawed. That's skewed.
You will be a consumer, and you will be monitored and surveilled 24/7.
Yeah, no one wants the coming beast system, at least those of us who realize what it actually is. Nobody wants that. You can't really escape it, even if you go to rural areas. I mean, you would really have to live on an island or go deep into the Amazon jungle, and then you would just be dealing with other crazy circumstances. There's something to be said for red states where these things are less common, like Florida or Texas. Yeah, but things could be changing there too. There's something to be said for moving to a different country if you really think things are going to be that different there. But it's all part of this globalized system. So there's not really any way to escape this unless you're going to start your own country. And then they'll probably just try to destroy you.
We're talking about the Great Reset, and we're talking about a kind of society that is actually not the future. We're talking about a kind of society that it has started. We are there. We have arrived.
We're talking about evil. We're talking about an evil coming in the hearts of men. That's what we're talking about. It doesn't matter so much the material specifics of what's going to happen. This is an evil force. So I'd like to see him hopefully move in that direction. Maybe he will.
So why the hell would you not check out of that? Why the hell, yes, I'm using a bad word here. Why would you stay? I mean, why? What's in it for you?
Well, how can you not stay? I mean, he hasn't really explained how do you check out. I don't get it. He still has a house in a town somewhere, I'm sure. He has the internet.
And you know what? It's like people are so naive. I don't know. I don't even know where to start. And I think that it's a case of people never detaching from that matrix. So they can't get the perspectives, and they're unable to see what kind of life, if we can call it that, they are living.
He says they can't get the perspectives. They cannot see the kind of life they're living and what they could live. It's kind of Gnostic. It's like you have to have the knowledge. You have to be able to see things. No, it's a matter of the heart, Bjorn. Men tend to be immoral. It's really that simple. It doesn't matter what information you show people whose heart is in a darkened place. It doesn't matter what you show them, what they see, even if they temporarily realize things, they'll go back to what their heart tells them they want to believe about the world, about their role in the world.
Put your smartphone away for a week. Spend time out in nature. If you do that, you will see that what I'm telling you here is the truth.
Where does nature begin? Does it begin 10 kilometers outside the nearest suburbs? Does it begin when there's just, you can't hear any planes? Or Does it begin when there's no light pollution? From where does where does that actually begin? Where's the boundary between the man-made world and the natural world? When are we in nature exactly? Of course, I understand the general idea, getting away from the built world. But I'm just pointing out that it's too simplistic to think that you just have to escape things that remind you of civilization. Like, that's just very simplistic. Why would that help your broken soul just to get away from the sight of buildings and cars? Why would that necessarily lead to a deeper sense of meaning in your life? Some of the most depressing places can be the wilderness. I've spent time in the wilderness in my travels. Sometimes the jungle just becomes monotonous and you see the darkness in your own soul because you don't have anything to do there. You have no reason to be in that place. That can be something that happens when you get into nature, as they say. That's not always what's going to happen, but it can be a terrifying thing. Terrifying because most humans, maybe rightly so, cannot deal with the void of meaning which is just there in the wilderness. We desire to be amongst other humans. It gives us meaning. We build communities. We go about our lives like honeybees. It's not bad that we have this honeybee mentality. We cooperate. We do our roles. We're not all thinking people. It is not for all of us to be the thinkers. That's fine.
Again, I'm asking you, why would you stay in this modern society? What's in it for you?
There's an opportunity to be part of a community, to meet people, to face challenges, to learn new skills, to make money if possible. We've gone through civilizations before where things are fallen, and like think of the collapse of the Roman Empire, for example. Rome collapsed, but it never fully just sort of went away. I mean, there was obviously a decline in urban populations, but at no point did the civilization ever fully collapse. Many people continued doing what they were doing and preserved traditions and contributed to the future. And eventually something new grew out of that. And if it is indeed nearing the end times, then it doesn't matter either way. We're not supposed to give up.
I'll tell you what you can look forward to, okay? You will be in your little pod.
I find Bjorn very cynical. He's very jaded. He's a bit odd. I agree with a lot of the things he says, but he's the perfect guy I would like to poke and like I find him funny. Like, he doesn't mean to be funny, but I'm not trying to humiliate him or anything. I think he does good work overall. It is lacking the Christian perspective. He's not Christian. He has pagan sympathies.
Watching social media crap on your smartphone, playing computer games, not socially interacting in real life with people a lot, because it's too much bother, I guess.
Yeah, I agree. You have to be interacting with real people socially. So if you can do your wilderness community and get along well with people, then that's great. But are these people who are trying to just escape from it, do they have good social skills? Does Bjorn have good social skills? Does this guy strike you as a relaxed, chilled, sociable guy? I mean, he's always almost scowling a lot of the time.
There aren't that many of us yet, but more and more people will be saying that they detached from modern society and all that comes with it, so that they could live a more full life out in the real world.
Yeah, you know who else claims to have disconnected and detached? People who go to like meditation retreats in India and whatever. And they not only disconnect from regular things we associate with civilization, like calling your friends or going out to the store. Not only disconnecting from that, but like disconnecting from the very concept of themselves, like their egos, like trying to achieve ego death. That could be a type of disconnecting. Like, what does he think of that?
So that they could live a more full life out in the real world.
A more full life out in the real world, right? Yeah, but he's just using these terms very vaguely. Like, what does he really mean, a more full life?
Get out of the matrix. Connect with yourself, connect with nature.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. Connect with yourself, so it comes back into the self, and then also nature, physicality, materiality. You see, they are threatened by the walls closing in on them on the material world. And they react to this by trying to imagine another material world where they can escape those walls. But it's not transcendent. It doesn't have the transcendence of Christianity.
Finding purpose, finding meaning in life is important. And I think that you can only do that if you minimize the distractions. In other words, again, you have to detach from modern society.
I don't know, I mean, having things that keep you going and having things to do each day, that can be good for you, because too much alone time, that can become really depressing. So if he's saying just disconnect and then that's going to solve your problems, I'm sure many people have tried that. It doesn't work. You just become aimless.
Some people, they always write, oh, not everyone can live in a cave in the forest like you do. I don't live in a cave. But there is something about where your heart is and where you spend your time.
Yeah, I agree. Obviously, I try to get out into the ravines. I try to take my bike out. So there's something to be said for that. Most people in the city don't take advantage of the green spaces. It almost scares them away. We've got millions of people in this city. People don't want to experience getting out into nature, like the forests and the fresh air. Most people don't actually want to do that. It is healthy to get out there. I don't disagree with him in that. But that's not going to disconnect us from the matrix. It's not. And maybe we can't in this life.
I know people will also say, now you just said follow me here, follow me there on social media. You're a hypocrite. Well, that's okay if you call me a hypocrite. I don't care. But I'm trying to get across the message that yeah, use social media, but don't spend all your time there. Let's say you reduce your time spent on social media to half an hour every day. That's probably a lot less than what you're spending on social media now.
Okay, I don't think I need to continue here, because you see, now he's kind of already watering down his message in his own video. I mean, he's realizing that, you can't really disconnect. He kind of thinks aloud, and then that's a lot of his videos. They're not really the most well thought out videos. Hasta luego, amigos!